This is the main chart for the Sunshine and Tea Shawlette motif. And when we start out, we work this pattern. We work these stitches once, and then this is a repeat that goes all the way across. And this is that leaf motif. You can see here is a whole leaf that starts with the bottom where it's wide, and then it gets to the point of the leaf, and then it's offset in the middle. So we have the top of a leaf that switches to the bottom. And I've knit that part right here. So here's the full leaf, and here it is here. And then here we've got the top of a leaf first, and then the bottom of a leaf after that. And I just wanted to show you what that looks like in the knitting. And here is a 9-stitch wide leaf. We've got stitches 9 knits when it's at the fullest point between the columns of purls. Some of the leaves in the pattern only get to be 7 or even 5 stitches, but we start out with 9, and this is a 9-stitch leaf. This started out as a 9-stitch leaf. And you can see there's 4 decreases here as we go from 9 all the way down to 1 stitch, and you can see them here in my knitting, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have some extra knits here that make this little stem, and then we increase again to the next leaf. There are 6 rows, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows here that are just plain knit. And that's what makes the height of the leaf. This wide area stays wide for a certain amount. Now, let's look at the individual leaves. So this is the 9-stitch leaf. And I mentioned that in the pattern we also have 7 and 5-stitch leaves. Well, you notice what happens when they get narrower, they also get shorter, so there's fewer rows in them. And I've got these extra little stem things circled here. So what happens is, say you were working on a 9-stitch leaf like this, and I started a 7-stitch leaf here, which is what I did here. So I only increased here to 7 stitches for this new leaf instead of 9. Well, I don't need as many rows in the new leaf as I had in the old leaf, so I'm going to have to knit less. What I'm going to do, I'm going to have to knit less in this leaf to make this leaf fit in the same section, because they're going to be partly next to each other. So what I'm going to do to keep this matching how many rows here are plain is when I get to the top of this 9-stitch leaf, I'm just going to skip that little extra stem, and I'm going to increase right away and then start the decreasing for this leaf. And all that does is it makes them line up better, and it makes it fit in the proper number of rows. So if you get to making these smaller leaves and you see that you have enough rows here on that smaller leaf, and you've got a big leaf next to it that's gone down to 1 stitch, you're ready to increase here again. You may feel totally comfortable to do it there, so you don't have to make this leaf taller, and that helps the shaping work well in the shawl. And it just happens by itself. You're going to run out of stitches here, and you're not going to want to knit any more rows here. So you will just start the new leaf instead of making that little stem. So I hope that makes sense. It might not till you actually get to it. And come back to this video, and feel free to ask questions in the Ravelry group if you need more help with that.